Silent of goal! Lakewood are doing it! They're gonna take! He's gonna bring down Burning! Alone with a double kill! Dropping fast! Monopoint's there! He's still alive! Wait, oh, seconds left! He's got one sub! He's got a second! He's taking it! They're overtime! On three! They're all dead!
Welcome back, friends. We've got Game 2 for today's coverage of the Summit 2 by G2A.com European Division. We've got Virtus.Pro.Polar facing off against the Power Rangers. Cattle Guy, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. Not a lot of sleep, but a whole lot of Dota. And I'm excited about it. And I haven't gotten to cast these two teams in quite a while. So I'm excited to see Goblak with his interesting draft tactics. I already see they're getting a little funky fresh right now in the draft. So
let's take a look at it. Let's see what kind of funky fresh we've got working on. Magnus Nyx Assassin for Virtus.Pro.Polar. And even Power Rangers, they're switching it up a little bit. First pick Medusa to go with their Skywrath Mage.
Well, they're not no shame in holding back what their strategy might be for this one. Medusa is saying we're looking for a bit of stamina in this game. We were looking to go the long haul. We want to protect our queen and let her come out strong in the end. And for Polar, I don't know what the hell they're thinking, but you know what? It's always exciting to see what it's going to turn into. A Nyx Assassin. This hero used to be all the rave, and I haven't seen him in quite a while, but I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Really solid in the off lane. He's one of those few heroes that has some decent regeneration above the base, but really good against Medusa because he's got a mana burn, and that's usually your golden ticket for trying to shut down that snaky queen. And the anti-mage already been banned out by Power Rangers. I think that one makes a lot of sense. Not too often you see him in the first or second banning couplet. But it's
Goblak.
Yeah, it's Goblak. So
you don't really know what the hell he's thinking.
No, you really don't.
He might even just go full-blown more mana regen here. They could grab up a Lion still. I want to see like an OD with an Ags grab just to really take it to Medusa. I don't know if it's something he's going to consider here. Nyx Assassin might be enough for them. If they want to maybe get someone who can use a Necro book to really be sure that she gets knocked down a notch, that could be something else, you know. So we'll see.
Well, it depends how they want to run this Nyx Assassin. It's pretty safe to assume a Scandal will be taking the Magnus mid. That's pretty common stuff. DK Phobos loves him some Centaur. I haven't seen him play Nyx Assassin all that much, so I would wager it'll probably be a 4 or 5 position Nyx. Maybe looking at a Centaur either coming up in the 3rd or 4th pick. And go from there, but I suppose a Nature's Prophet could be an option if DK Phobos is feeling up to the challenge.
Yep, and on the side of Power Rangers, they got to hold that Skywrath Mage. They're not going to have access to your Faceless Void. One thing I like to always throw out is like the poor man's Void. They can always get the Legion Commander. He has you know, she has a nice flare of lockdown with the duel, and they can easily follow it up with that Skywrath Mage. And you know, any sort of extra stun will definitely be necessary to help out as they're lacking in that department. And Mr. Clinks going to be joining us for the side of Polar.
Yeah, the Bone Fletcher, an interesting 3rd pick from Virtus.Pro.Polar. Kind of natural Orchid carrier and probably your safe lane farmer, though could also be your off laner. This is another one of these kind of open-ended drafts with these flex picks. An interesting choice. I suppose Orchid is pretty good against Dusa if you can lock her down, have her take all that extra burst
damage. You got to remember, in this recent patch, they just adjusted that searing arrows a bit. You can now use the extra benefit of those orbs. Diffusal Blade, anyone?
Whoa!
I doubt it, but hey, if you want to go full-blown mana, you know, why not, right? But more than likely, yeah, the Orchid has been the standard, and more pro players who like the Clinks have been, you know, itching at the idea of maybe using a Desolator. I know it wasn't too far back when Eternal Envy of Cloud9 got his hands on the new Clinks. He did go bull rush forward for the Desolator, and it did an immense amount of damage, so it's something we could be seeing here. We'll have to find out.
And the Searing Arrows is actually a physical damage type, so there is some pretty decent synergy there just for Clinks himself, and kind of depends on how the rest of the VP.Polar draft will transpire. But they've burned all their reserve time trying to decide on the Clinks, and here Power Rangers, they'll kind of take lead from Goblak on that front as Cheshire Cat decides what he wants. It's actually J4 drafting, pardon me, on the side of the Power Rangers. So we'll see what they want to do. The fans have spoken, though, and Virtus.Pro.Polar, they are the pretty heavy favorites coming in here. It's 77 to 23% on Dota 2 Lounge. So we'll see if Virtus.Pro.Polar can live up to the hype here. Oh gosh, we got some DCs. Looks like, do we have a remake coming in?
Yeah, when I noticed that they used all the reserve time, I had to check it out. And
you know what? You are a smart man, Cattle Guy. You really are. Let's leave. Let's see if we can
let's get the hell out of here.
And yeah, you are. Oh, you smart cookie.
All right, let's get the hell out. I don't know how much they're willing to wait for us. We'll hop right back in our broadcaster booth, and Well, I would figure that the clinks might not have been intentional. I mean, I was getting a little percolated over it right
I was
there,
getting excited, but I was wondering. I was like, where does the clinks fit in here? I didn't really see the synergy. It was probably
damn
a
you,
random.
Godblack, with your crazy ass drafts. I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
It's that deceiving. Where to the point where I guess we'll just have to start from scratch, get some new picks underway.
Get theory crafted. It'll probably be the same opening picks. Same first two. Well, I guess first set of bands will probably be the same, and first two picks should be the same. Well, they're speaking in a language I don't understand. No. So maybe they've agreed to a full redraft. We'll see. Oh, you're in the wait, no.
No, I was with you.
Okay, you're in the right one. Phew.
I hope so.
My eyes were playing with me. I thought I saw you next to Casper. I hope we're together. I hope you're not next
Looks
to
like
Casper.
I'm with Casper. No, I'm just kidding.
You might be right, unless I sat in the wrong slot.
No, I'm
I did sit in Casper's slot earlier, so that got me a little paranoid.
I'm pretty sure I'm in your spot.
No, I think you're good. I think we're good. People will let us know if we're not good for sure. I think I got a little too excited. That's my bad. So, all right, we're going to load in here. Had our remake ready to rock and roll. Scandal, he's loaded in. I don't know what the issue was. Maybe somebody just DC'd. Maybe sometimes a drafter will DC, and that certainly can be an issue. So
I imagine they'll fire away the first couple of picks. What was it? Polar gobbed up that Magnus, followed it up shortly thereafter with the Nyx.
It was a Magnus Nyx, and Power Rangers had the Dusa Skywrath opener. So the initial bans will come out the same. Power Rangers banned out TB and Anti-Mage, and I think VP.Polar banned out Death Prophet and Void, if memory is serving me correctly here.
They definitely banned out the Void. It might have been their third ban, not their second ban. And for Power Rangers, yeah, they got rid of that Anti-Mage, and we were just commenting about how that was pretty swift and early, but really you can never predict.
Oh.
They didn't have that last time, though. Maybe they were gone from the beginning.
I don't know. Dusa and Skywrath are pretty relevant heroes. Those are pretty lucky randoms. Nothing in the chat log, so
maybe they're just
maybe they did agree to a redraft. It is very well.
Oh,
possible.
they're remaking again. Oh, it was a miss. It was a
misclick. Oh,
go
remake. Oh boy.
Come on, guys. What are you, drunk? Oh no, that means
or are they gonna maybe? See, I can't read what they're saying.
Ito, Medusa.
Power Ranger or Virtus Pro may just be agreeing.
They're saying remake AP. Maybe they're just gonna fly through this.
Okay, so
they're gonna assume Slark is Medusa.
Okay, so we're gonna do the draft here, and then we're gonna remake AP, and the Slark will be a Dusa. So a little bit confusing.
They took a Dusa on their own draft with that one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, whew, finally back in it. Juggernaut. There we go. That's the third pick for Virtus.Polar. So
no clinks.
No clinks. This is probably your position 4 though. The support Juggernaut. You thinking?
I like that. I've played it from time to time. It's a lot of fun. The Healing Ward is extremely good for extra sustain on your team. And extra harassment, man, they are flying through this draft like it's nothing else right now. So. You know, and then after that, Power Rangers, they grabbed their own Rubik. Rubik would love to get a hold of anything Magnus or Nyx Assassin has an offer. Early potential there. Now you put that side by side with your Earthshaker, and it looks like Power Rangers are just going to stick with their old tried and true ways. They're going to go aggressive. They're going to go hard, and they're going to be all over the place early on.
Yeah, not a lot of physical damage to synergize with the Medusa Ultimate, but it looks like they just want to have some bursty space creators so the Medusa can get her farm on and just start getting that snowball rolling. Virtus.Polar. This is an interesting draft. They've got kind of a little bit of everything. They've got some pushing power with your Veno wards. You've got some also pushing power with the healing ward of Juggernaut. You got team fight with the Magnus, but there's not really a lot of huge AoE follow-up damage on top of the RP, except for, I guess, your Venomancer ulti flying through. So I'm wondering, will this be more of a core Veno, a core Nyx? Who's going to be in the position 5 here? All three of the Juggernaut, Veno, and Nyx Assassin could either be a core or a support of sorts.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell at this point. I want to say this 5th pick will be someone who is going to take it to the long run of the game to try to contest the Medusa, a.k.a. the Slark, pick. But I'm not too sure, and it looks like Virtus.Polar are also not too sure what the Power Rangers are thinking, because I would have imagined, yeah, they're going to need an offlaner. So they do the smart thing. They do ban out that Centaur. But they return fire with their own offlane ban. They get rid of the Bristleback. This still leaves a Tidehunter in the pool. If Power Rangers wanted to have Snowball, someone to divert attention elsewhere away from the Medusa, Timber Scythe also seen used recently and works very nicely. So, you know, we'll have to see what they decide to fall back on here.
VP.Polar have that luxury of the Nyx Assassin who can play either or. If they want to put him in the offlane, that'll work fine, or they can put him as a core or a support and go ahead and grab something like that Tidehunter for themselves, perhaps. still a lot of options. Maybe a tide could be okay, but no. They go for the Morphling.
There's that one we want to contest against the Medusa in the long run. It's the Water Man. The Morphling Man.
Oh, Elder Titan.
Elder Titan. We were just talking about yesterday about what hero really makes Morphling's life hard, and it was Elder Titan. With that natural order, you can bring in huge burst damage. Put that together with a Mystic Flare. Oh my god, that's going to hurt so good.
It really does. It's just disgusting. Yeah, we are going to have a remake here for AP.
Right,
Everybody's already left. Andre's hosted up this lobby, and we'll be in great shape here. So, well, a little slow getting into our second game of the day, but solid drafts from both sides. Virtus.Pro/Polar are the favorites coming into it, but I kind of like this dire draft a little bit. The Elder Titan adds a nice mix, and even just the Morphling aside, Elder Titan and Dusa is a pretty good combo. Soften them up a little bit, then that split shot is just
I'm a little concerned about, the other thing was I was looking for someone to really snowball, like bring attention towards them and away from the Medusa. But I don't know. It seems like they have somewhat of a respective greedy lineup. So as long as the Virtus Pro squad get their objectives done, which is more add focus to Medusa, not allow her to get to that point, maybe take the towers, restrict the farm, suffocate her, and take everything else away, then she will not get to that pinnacle point when she wants to bring it back for her team. So we'll see if they're going to be on it, or we will see if Power Rangers are going to be able to divert attention elsewhere, add pressure on other sides of the map, and allow Medusa to go out of control.
Yeah, we've even seen some games where Medusa can get involved in that kind of talent of the laning phase. If she finds free farm, get yourself some phase boots, Yasha, maybe an Aquila, and she can actually help in the team fights a little bit. So old Dazzle here will give us the lead-in into our second and final game of the day.
Says, have a good match. I don't know. That sounded more like Witch Doctor to me.
Dark light.
You played a lot more. You would know what his voice is.
I like Dazzle. Dazzle's my favorite. He's so much fun. I'm sad I can't interrupt
Grey
TPs
tea
anymore.
for me, please.
Earl Grey. All right, so I'll get back to our draft overlay here. It is just a remake AP, folks. Again, that Slark in the draft was meant to be a Dusa. A little misclick there from the Power Rangers. Getting too excited, and there we go. So we'll just have to be a little patient as the picks come out. The Juggernaut was intended. I see some people in chat saying, oh, no, that's supposed to be a Clinks. No, the Clinks was part of the DC where they randomed the Clinks.
Yeah,
so,
it was a hot mess there at the start. The first DC, and then, of course, the Butterfingers apparently coming out from Power Rangers hitting the Slark instead of Medusa. So
that's what happens when you eat while you're playing Dota 2, man. Your keyboard gets all lubed up.
They got the Cheetos, I'm sure the Mountain Dews all ready to go. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
The dew is flowing.
I'm stereotyping real hard right here with this. But here, they get the heroes underway. As we did go into AP, they're going to snag it all up here. A couple of seconds. We'll get everyone assigned because I'm getting eager for this. I want to see how the hell they're going to lane this one.
Me too. That's what I want to know from VP.Polar. Who's doing what? I would imagine the Nyx will be in the off lane. Morphling will be safe, and then should just be a support, like a position 5 Veno, position 4 Jug.
Which works.
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, it means that this Venomancer more than likely will go for the early level of that Venomous Gale, and they're going to go for the slow and the spin to win follow-up right there from Jug, continuing to add that constant pressure early on. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I want some more of it.
Prepare for battle.
Okay, so welcome one, welcome all. We've got Virtus.Pro/Polar versus the Power Rangers. On the dire side, it will be the Power Rangers. They lost their first game earlier today against Moscow 5, and they're hungry for a little bit of vengeance here for their own sake. Shotchlo will be in the off lane on the Elder Titan. It'll be J4. Is he going to go mid on a core shaker? Maybe he'll just be blocking out. He actually has some branches and pooled tango, so it looks like it will be a core shaker here.
That's what I want to see, baby. The
Bass
Bane
and tremble.
The Baner shaker. I want to see the slams. I want to see the jams. And I want to see him hit like a truck. That's just, it's so exciting to watch. You know, signature plays include, TI4's Quakefa run with the mid lane Earthshaker. I know Korok on Navi US is a huge Earthshaker fan, and I've seen him do tremendous amounts of damage, stomping pubs that he has thankfully carried me through. But regardless, if this hero finds the farm, he can be a huge problem later on. And if you put that together with a natty order, holy moly, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, that's some serious cheddar. Yeah, we just sick on the Skywrath Mage here. He'll bump right into Lil, and Juggernaut does have boots first. Maybe potential for a little bit of damage, but he'll make it back to his tower, weave around the trees. He'll be headed up to the safe lane to join Cheshire Cat on the Rubik to protect their safe lane farmer. That is Nexus on the big bad Dusa. We see Lil, he's going to be pretty aggressive here. He'll be roaming around on this Juggernaut. That means in the safe lane, it will be Go Black on the support Venno, and Illidan. He'll be here on the position 1 Morphling. That leaves Scandal mid on the Magnus, and the offlane Nyx Assassin, played by DK Phobos.
Fantastic stuff here in Phobos. You know, we haven't gotten to see a Nyx Assassin in the offlane in quite a while, so it's interesting to see how he can hold it up. You know, with the spiked Carapace, it's going to make things very, very nice for, you know, thwarting back any sort of initial onslaught there, though that won't prevent them from getting initial telekinesis off. But
oh my gosh, Scandal with a beautiful skewer already, almost finds a first blood. A lot of tower shots come out onto the Earthshaker. If he was level 2, maybe there was a chance with a couple shockwaves to be able to bring him down, but Earthshaker already getting a run for his money here as Scandal is off to an aggressive start.
Yeah, Magnus, I mean, I love the mid lane matchup here for Earthshaker, and we'll have to see, because Earthshaker's going to need a couple of levels to really start bringing in the extra bit of damage, and of course the bottle, and being able to build up those extra resources. But in the meantime, Magnus is happy to contest in this melee, toe-to-toe skirmish in the, you know, mid lane field, and he's going to start taking advantage of that right away. He's well in the head, 7-3 CS right now, as he continues to lay it out, and any opportunity he can get to skewer him all the way back, he will go for it certainly.
Yeah, now up top, DK Phobos maybe in some trouble. We'll get telekinesed back, uses the Spike Carapace already, but does have a stun, and will connect on 2. Nicely done there. Impale will keep him safe and sound. Meanwhile, on the other off lane, Nyx has found his level 3, 4 last hits, and Shotchlo, he's having an all right time. He's found 1 last hit of his own, but he's also getting experience, going blow for blow with Go Black, and Elder Titan's one tanky mother. Go Black won't be able to take too much from that staple gun before he's got to tango up himself.
So Magnus already has his bottle, has already been using it, and you know, J4 is finally getting it together. He grabs it right there. The Scandal's just a little ahead, and he's making him pay. There's your Shockwave. He's going to continue to lay out the damage. Well in ahead as far as CS. Earthshaker only 3 at the start of this one. He's going to need to try to dig deep to pull it on back right now. But Juggernaut's coming in. He's like, I see you got a bottle there, sir. Don't you dare come back. I'm going to look to spin on you. And it's constant threat coming in. They know that Earthshaker can be at a bit of a disadvantage if he is pressured very, very often. So
yeah, I like this play from J4 to back up and rendezvous with Stumpy at the tier 2 tower. I think Juggernaut was really looking for a courier snipe there more than anything else. And with the boots first, that would have been a real possibility. Still a little while before it could have been upgraded. So a noble effort, but nice heads-up play from the Earthshaker. He has more pressing issues, though. Finds a last hit with this fissure. I feel like these supports just have to rotate in, not only to shut down Scandal, but also just get J4 a little bit of extra momentum. While he's left the lane, though, they have taken this opportunity to pressure the tier 1 tower in the Radiant off lane. And if they can knock down that tower nice and quick, that'll help J4 on his road to recovery.
We must protect our queen. That's what's important. Make sure Medusa gets all the farm she wants, so that later in the game she could take us to the promised land. Seems to be kind of the motto for now, because I'm not seeing a smoke, you know, grabbed from the Rubik like you would typically see if they wanted to roam and add pressure early. Skywrath Mage as well, another hero who could be fantastic at adding aggression elsewhere, is just, they're confined and content on camping themselves up here and just making things all the easier for their lady.
Yeah, they're going to pull, and they'll do a nice double pull here into the hard camp. Nicely done as the Satyrs chase them down, and they'll find a good bit of extra experience as they clear out these neutrals. But Phobos, all things considered, is having a pretty good time. He's got his boots up. Nyx Assassin, one of those offlaners that really wants to find his level 6 so he can get the Vendetta, then start moving around the map and trying to set up some ganks. Shotchlo being irritating here as he uses that Spirit to scout things out and do a little bit of damage. We're trying to camp out this 4-minute rune. Juggernaut will win the race. It's an invisibility, and Lil will be able to chase him down. Meanwhile, up top, DK Phobos gets the bounty rune, stuns out Cheshire Cat, will be able to grab it.
And Juggernaut, as a 4 here, is just such a great rune contender. In a game where there's going to be runes that pop up on both sides in constant contention, he's got to be one of the best at it. You're right there with your Blade Fury ready to go if anyone wants to try to contest it. And he makes life even that much harder for Elder Titan, who is struggling at the start of this one. 1-0 CS, like tied for the lowest in the game on the offlane. He's going to need to try to pull it on back, but Illidan right there, Venomancer right there. They are not going to let him have the opportunity. He's going to constantly throw out the Spirit. He gets a last hit right there with it, but this is one CS a wave. That ain't going to cut it, boy. You got a quota to meet.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this is kind of like 2 lanes lost for Power Rangers. Oh my gosh, the first blow. Magnus! He gets the kill. He
right
dies,
at the back
but
end.
he ends up finishing off the Earthshaker. I was just about to check in on it, and oh boy, that's my bad.
Yeah, I saw the back end too.
Yeah,
I was also getting really excited.
I got too excited about
the
the Elder Titan. But Magnus draws the first blood. It ends up costing him his life, but the Earthshaker doesn't get anything out of it, which is the most unfortunate part. The Rubik will come in. He'll get a little bit of experience. He's soon to find his level 5, but this is essentially 2 lanes lost for Power Rangers here. The Nyx is getting a lot more out of his off lane than the Elder Titan, and Scandal obviously getting a lot more out of this mid lane. 31-12 versus the 8-2 Earthshaker.
This is a stomp in the mid lane right here. Even though he does, you know, sacrifice for the greater good of getting that first flood, it still works out. He TPs right back to the lane, and poor little Earthshaker has to waddle himself down, take the walk of shame back in to get that CS flowing for himself.
Yeah. And now he's about a level and a half behind, just getting into level 5. And Magnus, he's almost level 7. 1 creep kill away, and he will pick up his arcane boots. So now he can ras that much more effectively, throwing out shockwaves, and will camp out this 6-minute rune to top off this bottle. We'll see what he gets here. It will be the bounty rune. Down bottom, though, double damage, snagged by the Elder Titan. And Juggernaut, he'll head for the hills. He doesn't want to get stapled.
Yeah, first opportunity that Elder Titan has gotten to get something going, but it's just a DD rune. Love to be able to put it to use with the briefcase, but for now he has to walk all the way back to the bottom and just hope to get more CS. Still at the bottom of getting it. I mean, I don't mean to be so harsh on DK. Meanwhile, our PR, but yeah, top lane gets caught out. Nice stun timing. Oh, man. Perfect turnaround. Skywrath Mage, know your boundaries, sir. You're getting a little too hot and heavy.
Yeah, now the offlane disparity is that much more. Nyx Assassin finding a solo kill. That just simply shouldn't happen. He'll now almost be level 6. He'll walk back to the well to top everything off. But 1,000 gold up, he'll be able to get arcane boots if he's so inclined, or just keep pulling up and go for a pretty well-timed blink dagger. And speaking of just the position ones, Illidan's getting a lot better farm. He's 45-20 compared to the 37-7 Medusa. So even about a 10 kill or a 10 last hit lead is pretty significant considering they're both essentially free farming. He'll go for more of a combative build, ends up picking his power treads early on and looking to move in towards a Lincoln Sphere. Dusa, I think, is going for the late game. She could be picking up treads, but pulling up that gold seems to indicate that she'll be looking at a hand of Midas.
Mid lane, it's clear J4 is like, guys, I'm going to need some help here, for God's sakes. It's just too rough. I'm looking at this guy on the other side. It's a Magnus. He's ugly yet handsome at the same time. I don't know what it's all about, but he is getting all the CS he could ever want right here. We try to get some wards down. He does manage to deny the ward even, just to add insult to injury. There was a smoke picked up here on the Rubik, but they're still yet to make any sort of aggressive moves on him because at this point, Magnus, who is now level 8, you know, you really don't know what the hell's going to happen. You could dive in and it could end up blowing right up in your face. So at this point, it's just so devastating mid lane. It's also very devastating for PR on the bottom with this Elder Titan. Still at 3-0.
Yeah, Shotchla just can't find much this game. He's at least found his boots, but just no real core items. And this is one of the problems with the Elder Titan. It is hard for him to farm in lane. Up top, though, going on to Phobos once more, but we just sick. He gets impaled, he gets mana burned, and Phobos is like, I can kind of man up on you, bro. I picked up my bottle. You need to be careful. I remember how last time went. And I'm happy to try and do that again. Lil finds another invisibility rune, and is level 4 on this Juggernaut. Has picked up his phase boots, and he's found a good bit of jungle farm here. Just looking at general levels in terms of the Radiant supports. They do have a decent advantage with Skywrath being the lowest level in the game.
And they are going to use the Skywrath now and Cheshire Cat to go on this mid lane. There's your smoke. They're moving on in. Magnus can't get off skewer in time. Gets pulled back. Eklo right into it. Finally. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I needed to get that Magnus down. He was a real pain in the ass, but finally we got it done. It was a half a second, I would imagine, for Magnus to just kind of skewer into the promised land, but he can't get it off, and they get the job done. So finally, PR managed to pull it back there in the mid lane for their ally J4.
Yeah, a beautiful setup. Telekinesis right into the big Echo Slam. They came prepared, and now it'll be a set of power treads coming out for the Earthshaker. So he's on a road to recovery. Medusa will indeed go for the Midas first core item. Gets it completed around the 9-minute mark as a rotation comes up top. Impale connects on 2. Phobos, he wants We Just Zik. There will be a TP coming in. Scandal flies through. It's a dead Skywrath to get things going. Nexus will use his ultimate, but no one's going to be foolish enough to look at her except, well, DK Phobos. He gets a little silly at the end, uses his Vendetta, and will look to be aggressive here. There's a sentry ward down. They ping him out. They know that he's inbound and won't be able to find anything. While this is going on, Illidan picks up a solo kill on the Elder Titan in the bottom lane. So VP.Polar, they get a kill up top to turn it around and keep their Nyx safe. And Illidan, he gets a freebie down bottom.
As if things weren't going hard enough for Elder Titan, Illidan is just happy, swagrific right down here on the bottom on his Morphling. you know, him and this Medusa are going to have to meet toe-to-toe down the road at some point, and he is definitely finding some very nice farm. He's at 69 CS while Medusa's at 52. She does have that Midas now, so that's going to accelerate things just a little bit further, but still, with the other lanes looking so promising, it's all VP.Polar in the early game.
Yeah, I worry about this Midas pickup, where it's great to have that ability to scale into the late game and try and extend your longevity, but they haven't even really hit the scary part yet. Once Scandal gets his Blink Dagger, Magnus will be moving around a lot more and controlling the tempos, and especially as Lil starts to come online, finds his level 6, he'll be looking to get a lot more aggressive, and once that happens, how are Power Rangers going to deal with it? Their Medusa won't be in fighting shape for at least another 10 minutes, if not longer, and you know, Elder Titan, no mech there. Their Earthshaker, sure, he's got his power charge, but he won't have a Blink Dagger anytime soon. How are you going to stop this Magnus from running around and just destroying your team? Even Illidan, he's in a good enough shape now that he can contribute in these team fights once VP.Polar choose to group up.
These are great questions. I don't know if I have answers for you, Sayori, as it's looking pretty rough. I'm even curious how the hell Power Rangers are going to be able to pull this one back. Even Elder Titan, things don't get any easier, buddy. He gets slammed down bottom lane. They set up an easy 3-man, and well, Juggernaut comes in and is like, guys, nice job. Here's my pirouettes for you. As he really doesn't contribute a whole lot. It was all the Nyx setup. Follow it up with your Morphling, and I'm really liking the Nyx Assassin's grab. I mean, or the Nyx grab, because PR don't expect it coming. You kind of forget about the olden days where you have to be cautious of the vendettas once he reaches that point. You get the sentry down in lane so you can see where he's going to be coming. And even Skyrath Mage, a formidable support who we've seen many a time, when he tries to roam around, that concussive shot comes in. But it's easy to see. You just simply pop out that Spike Carapace, and you're going to thwart that gank so easily. I'm loving the Nyx Assassins, and welcome back, my friend.
Yeah, they picked him to deal with the Medusa, but so far he hasn't really done much in the way of mana burning that mana shield. He's just been running around, setting up vendetta ganks, and doing a great job in this off lane. This tier 1 tower that he's defended so well will finally get close to deny range as Cardi lays in a few more auto attacks. He may indeed be able to secure a deny for the first tower kill of the match, and looks like that'll be it. Medusa will be repelled.
Bottom, though. They lift up the Jug quickly, slam him back down into a Mystic Flare. Finally, the PR supports have gotten the levels they need to really contribute a whole lot more. And with that Mystic Flare,
RP up top onto Nexus. Phobos is there to continue with the stun. She'll get off the Stone Gaze, but it doesn't matter. Medusa will fall once more. And then the bottom lane, oh my gosh, there's just kills all over the place. Venomancer will fall in the mid as J4 looks like he connected with a fissure, and Weejasik was there for some follow-up damage.
Yeah, really back and forth. Even me was jumping all over the place to see what was happening there. But Illidan picking up another kill on this Morphling just gets the better of it, and I'm sure Polar are definitely happy. At the end of it, they take down the Precious Core Medusa, which now it looks like all sights are going to be set on her, because if she's going to be the dark horse for PR, Polar have something else to say about that, and Illidan's just continued to slip his way into the late game.
Slash on the Earthshaker. He'll avenge his fallen comrade from just moments ago, and this Core Shaker is just not working out for him. He's been getting picked on this entire game. 1, 2, and 2 hasn't died too much, but his farm is just lackluster. He's middle of the pack, and compared to like where Illidan is and this Magnus in particular, he's just not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, Magnus has already got his Blink Dagger. He had those Arcanes, and he's already well towards 600 gold reserve, while your Earthshaker, by this point, you need to have your Blink Dagger, and you're already trying to maybe work towards, I don't know, like a Force Staff for the extra bit of mobility, but he's got a quota that he just can't meet at this time. So for now, Scandal returns. We'll Shockwave out this mid lane. They're not getting much done as far as objectives, but I think Polar are okay with this. They're happy to kind of farm it on up, and once the mid game really starts to sink in, they can just take team fight after team fight and then follow with the tower shortly thereafter.
Yeah, you're exactly right. With the Morphling here farming so much faster than Medusa, they're fine with this. He'll be on his Lincoln Sphere before too long, has enough to pick up the ultimate orb, and looks like he may just scoot over and do that right now. Grabs a TP scroll to boot, and now is just a recipe away from having that item that really lets him get active and become a lot more tanky. They will pull a rotation, smoked up around the tree line. J4 and Weejasik will come in onto Illidan. If they can get off the silence before he starts channeling the morph, that'll be good, but they can't do it. He's already morphing his strength. He's going to survive. They just don't have the damage to bring him down unless the dunk comes in. RP on 3. We'll skewer him into the tower. Shockwave will secure a kill on 2. Now J4, the one that's left alive. Not for long. It's a 1 for 3 turnaround. Scandal drops the hammer.
How dare you go after our water man like that? And immediately Scandal says, get the hell out of here, and slams it home. I love it. It took so much to even take down the Morphling that by the time the cavalry came in, they had nothing. They were already wounded, fatigued, and committed so much that it was just an easy mow down from the other three. And well, Polar prove it's well worth it. I mean, you may have grabbed the prized Morphling, but man, oh man, they pay big for it. Meanwhile, mid lane, nice steal right there, and Rubik does grab that stun. That will set up for an easy telekinesis stun lockdown combo if they can catch it on Phobos here, who's finding his own bit of solo farm. He's level 9, but he's got 2.3k, and it is going to be a Blink Dagger grab on him.
There you go. This is a huge item pickup on the Nyx Assassin. Similar flavor to the Centaur. Not exactly the same, but lets him get in position to get those big impales and set up these fights. Also just makes him more elusive with that Spike Carapace. You can utilize that Blink Dagger to often make a sneaky escape. Earthshaker has found at least some gold now, getting closer to that Blink Dagger, but 15 minutes way past that timing you'd hope for on a core Shaker. I think they need to just focus that silence on the Morphling a little more effectively. That fight down bottom would have been so different if they could have gotten off the silence before he started morphing, but unfortunately just a little too slow with it, and that's what allowed him to buy enough time for Scandal to come in and make the big plays happen. Looking at the graphs, it's about a 7,500 gold, 5,000 experience lead for VP.Polar here at only the 15-minute mark. How's Dusa looking? Going for Lifesteal is her next item. Morbid Mask following the Hand of Midas. Still not so tanky, but Go Black mid lane, he'll get locked down, and there's that Telekinesis Impale combo you were talking about.
Yeah, nice swift 1-2 punch that you can get. You follow that up with your Mystic Flare, and it's going to take very few to be able to survive it out, and Venomancer's got really nothing to hold up to it. He's already relatively squishy as it is, being the most selfless one on his team with just a simple Sobi mask and a pair of brown shoes. It's not going to be able to hold a candle to really the heavy burst that came his way. So it's something. PR will take what they can get, whether it be a small little support or what have you. They need to try to build up some momentum to get them back into this game because it is still very, very rough.
And with that, Illidan finishes off the bottom tier 1 tower, so they denied the top tier 1, and then they'll kill their other themselves. And Morphling getting the last hit, always scary. He'll have his Lincolns coming out on the courier right now. Captain Parrot will deliver it. So he's ready to fight, and with that, VP.Polar, they smoke up towards the top lane. Juggernaut has an Omni Slash ready to go. Scandal with his level 2 RP. They want to find a kill on this Medusa.
Who's got an interesting bundle of items coming your way. It's not really the completed Yasha. It's like, I got a sword. I already have this mask here, and it's an interesting hodgepodge. Oh god, it's an RP! Oh crap, what have I done? And she gets blown the hell up. Just when she's like, I got a shiny new sword, boys. I'm ready to battle it out. She gets slammed in the face. Scandal says, nice sword you got there, lady.
Feel my ogre axe. Oh my gosh. Things just getting worse for the Dire side, and all these little pickoffs just giving more and more into the pockets of VP.Polar. Illidan down bottom, the natural order taking away a lot of his armor, but he ain't so scared. DK Phobos hanging out in the tree line nearby. He's got a regen rune, and they may try to get aggressive here. Blink Dagger's up on J4. This tower's gone down. Phobos at the front lines. They'll drop We Just Sick as this initiation starts. And now Phobos goes in onto Shotchlow. Mana burn to do some extra damage. J4's there, has a dunk, but no extra units nearby. Hits him with the totem. Phobos will be able to survive. Now Illidan coming in. He's just going to go hard onto J4. Wait for him forward. The natural order soften him up. He'll have to start morphing some strength. In comes the slam, but it just does nothing. They'll lose their core Shaker. Cheshire Cat on his way in, steals the mana burn, but Illidan, he's still able to stand his ground, can tread swap for maybe a little bit of extra mana, and Shotchlow will miss the ultimate as Illidan just morphing all the strength that he can. DK Phobos is nearby, has a stun, whiffs it, but the staple gun not going to be enough. Staples don't stick to water. He's not going to do enough damage there. Scandal, invisibility rune. He's looking for the opening. No RP. Instead, he'll go onto the Rubik. There's your shockwave. Blinks over. Skewer misses it. He's just playing Ring Around the Rosy. Takes a silence and says, oh god, now I'm running. Oh, in comes Phobos. He'll finish off the Rubik, and the Morphling will still stay standing. Down goes We Just Sick. It's a double kill for Phobos. Now they'll turn it on to Shotchlow. Omni Slash has been used. Scandal hungry for vengeance after missing that last skewer. The blink forward from Phobos. The body blocks. The Juggernaut. He's going to dive the tower, but can't get in position, or can he? No, he'll be able to make it up, but Scandal, he's there. He'll finish him off with one blink shockwave. After all that, it's VP.Polar that come out way ahead. Hey, it's not over yet. Whoa, Skewer out of the tower as J4 blinks forward. Scandal taking tower shots, but he's just too damn tanky.
That was a girthy, long engagement, as I like to say, as it was so impressive there. Polar, they managed to have only 2 for the majority of that fight. Just the Phobos and the Illidan combo were really holding their own. They managed to take down the Earthshaker, and it was enough time for the rest of their squad to finish off that tier 1 top and just migrate their way all the way to the bottom until the TPs were available. And yeah, tier 1 mid also ends up going down. Venomancer, who was not really involved a whole lot, their Captain Goblak, got it done there in the mid. And with it advantage in numbers, PR still are struggling to try to just find what they want in these fights. And, you know, it allows for the rest of the VP squad to come in better late than never, I suppose, and being able to swing it back. Whether it's going to be a crazy-ass skewer here and there, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, old Juggy, he has a full Aghanims complete following that fight. He had the point booster, and the Courier just going to bring all of his extra weapons. So that's a level 11 Juggernaut with the upgraded Omni Slash, and now he's got 9 jumps. That is ridiculous for 20 minutes into the game. Morphling hasn't picked up anything else yet, but 2,000 gold on him, and there's a Yule Scepter on the Nyx. So they've got a lot of setup to do a lot of damage in these upcoming skirmishes. And meanwhile, on the side of PR, we see almost no item progression. Deuce has completed her Yasha, but whoop-de-doo!
Yeah, this is going to be scary. I mean, Scandal's been right there to set up some fantastic RPs, and now Juggernaut's going to have a great Omni Slash to follow it up after he clears out those creeps. Godblack just simply drops down his R button to just wither everyone else away. And Nyx Assassin can follow up with additional burst of the Vendetta and then additional stun. I have no idea what PR is going to do here. And oh, poor Earthshaker. He is going to be scouted out. And right in front of him, how you doing there, buddy? Quick slam, bada bing, bada boom. Slap on the ass. I don't need my friends. I got it done myself. DK Phobos. Nice pickoff right there. Takes down Earthshaker.
Meanwhile, Illidan, he's going hard by himself. Tries to finish off Cheshire Cat. Stonegaze comes out. Nexus says, "Look at me, you spotty dog." And Illidan, he's not having it. He's just turning his back, and what a time to pause. This scary Stonegaze is just about to expire, and I think Illidan's going to be A-okay here, Cattle Guy.
He certainly will. He's got 2 more seconds on the waveform. He's not looking at her face and should be able to kind of turn the corner and being able to jump out if necessary, or could look to turn back. We'll have to see. As he does turn the corner, he's off to the right-hand side. We got a rotation to come in. There's your big ult coming out from ET, but it's not going to be near the mark. And now Illidan looking to return fire as the Stonegaze does expire. And
there's an Omni.
I want to see it.
Oh, okay. They're going to play this one past. I'm a little surprised. Illidan still has a lot of health, and with the 9 bounces and a Venomancer ult, I think they could have just gone straight in there and just face-checked it. But, well, he's going to play it a little more passive. They'll be more tactful here as Goblack gets a ward down, checking out that Radiant Vision. Now they know what's going on. They've got that intel. And they'll just camp out on the high ground of this secret shop here and set the trap.
Yep, they're not going to allow now. This is the point where we're going to slowly see Virtus.pro take their hands and put it around the neck. Oh, man, there we go. Slam. Bring that pinball to us, baby. And they slam it home. It was like a perfect little just rubber ball with that Mana Shield to just, hey, guys, look what I found. Let's play. And they just go ahead and take her down. Man. And that is supposed to be the one to pull it out for PR and your Medusa. They're already starting to show that nowhere is safe. We are going to start to strangle you and like shepherds keep you corralled into your base side.
Oh, Phobos, did he bite off more than he can chew? No, he'll be able to Yules essentially the entire Mystic Flare, the solo dunk onto Phobos, the totem to bring him down with the double damage Shaker. So that'll be a huge streak going the way of Earthshaker, actually. He's just trying to create some space for his friends. They're moving into the Roche Pit. Let's take a look at the vision. And Scandal skewer. Whoa. We just zick into the Roche Pit. And now J4 thinking about hopping in, but he doesn't have a dunk here. And that'll be a Roche going the way of the Radiant, and Morphling, all of a sudden, he's got a second life.
I love Scandal's Magnus play, man. He's like, hey, why don't you come and do Roche with us, my friend? Takes him right down and just is so generous to share the XP with everyone with that. So nicely done right there. They take the Roche. They don't care that they're showing it off. And, well, now they look to migrate elsewhere as this is going to be tricky here. I want, you know, also, Power Rangers, they're going to have to learn to dig deep on this one. But, man, look at that graph. It is ugly.
15,000 gold and experience. Can they assemble the Megazord to turn this one around? I want to say nay, but maybe there's a chance. Illidan, he's going for a shotgun, it looks like. Just a couple hundred gold off, and it's a smart choice here. This Rubik, if he had a shotgun here, that'd just be a dead Ruby Tuesday. Instead, just gets clicked down a little bit. But no one is really that tanky. Everyone's hovering around 1,000 hit points or less, so no one's going to be safe from the 10 gauge here, Cattle Guy.
They're going to have to hope that this natty order will help.
We just die.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even blink as immediately Skywrath Mage, you know, notoriously known as being one of the flimsiest in the game, but who can also, you know, pack the biggest punch with that Mystic Flare. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it caught right there. And, well, Nyx Assassin's just proven to be a real nuisance. And look at Scandal. He's got RP ready to go. He's invis. This is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, Lil trying to bait it out a little bit, moving into the tower, saying, I've got an Omni Slash, but when am I going to use it? That's what's going to keep you guessing. Scandal, he scouts out Nexus. Visibility rune still on. There we go. RP, skewer back right into Phobos, drains his mana, hits him with a stun, and Medusa,
I found that ball.
Can't do anything.
I got her ball back, boys.
Ping pong.
And they bring her right back and rip her down. And there's that mana going all bye-bye, that she will not be able to survive. And now pressure's going to be on the tower. Virtus.pro once again stuck without their Medusa. Elder Titan trying to make something happen even passively with that natty order, and it's just rough. Meanwhile, Illidan's pushing in on the bottom, gets that tier 2. This is it, baby. They're just slowly wrapping their hands around the neck of PR at this point.
Yeah, this is starting to look close to the end. Only one outer tower remaining. They've only gotten one tower kill themselves, and it was denied. Power Rangers just getting shut down at every turn. They've got nowhere to farm, and their item progression just is non-existent. Shotchlo on his way to a mech, but still only about a third of the way to the recipe. And Dusa, well, she's working on a Manta style, but Ultimate Orb Yasha not going to be enough to save you from the wrath of the RP Skewer Mana Burn, and it's not even a shotgun. Illidan says, hey, no one's getting an MKB anytime soon. You've got no Hex. I'm just going to go 35%. You can't touch me.
And just looking at the net worth, you can just see the devastation, how far up VP.Polar are. You know, even their very selfless Gallblack, who's been playing Venomancer, hasn't really been the biggest team pack, but he's been more like, I'm just going to lay the wards, I'm laying the foundation for these fights in the slow siege. He's above your Elder Titan by nearly 1K. That is rough. Rough right now for PR.
Yeah, it really is. This Core Shaker was not going the way that they had hoped it would, and it's just so hard for him in lane. It's not an easy life. Phobos down bottom. He will lose his spiked Carapace, but that's okay. Well, he doesn't lose it, but Rubik will copy it, and I guess that'll help him out a little. Not quite ideal. Illidan in the mid lane getting shipped at, and he just doesn't really seem to care about this natural order. They haven't picked up any armor items aside from the Aquila. No Vlads, nothing like that, but he's doing okay. Whoa, RP on 2. Scandal coming in. He'll get stunned up, but Mystic Flare comes out. Skewer onto the high ground, pops his BKB. It's an easy double for Illidan as they're all clumped up, and there you go.
That was a nice little fun play, though, from Rubik, who had stolen the Spike Carapace to kind of try to slow their roll, but it was inevitable as RP was still locking him in place, and he just brought him to the promised land, and yeah, sweeping on through. Medusa down, buyback coming out from Rubik. I mean, this already might be their last stand here, as it's only been about 26 minutes in, and it looks like Virtus.Pro are knocking at the front gate of PR.
Yeah, Medusa can't even put on that makeup and make him look at her. She loses all of her mana so quickly that the Stone Gaze isn't even a factor here. Cheshire Cat steals the healing ward, but what's that going to do? Lil takes a silence as he's coming in for an Omni Slash. Will be repelled, but still plenty of hit points to spare. Echo Stomp, this could be big. Nope, won't be able to echo a hell of a lot here, and it'll put Scandal and Lil to sleep, but that's okay. They're still kind of zoning out the forces of PR as their barracks taking a lot of damage. No glyph is available. J4 will TP in, comes in with the dunk, does some decent damage, but it'll cost him his entire life. His entire HP pool will go to 0 as now Cheshire Cat gets taken down shortly after. Skewer back onto We Just Zik, and We Just Die will be his nickname this game as he falls once more. Yules to set up on the Shotchlo. That's a little crazy impale there, but I think they'll be all right with it. Illidan played some ring around the Rosie and then just gives him the adaptive strike.
I'm feeling like PR. They're getting the white flag. They're tying it to the bottom of the flagpole right now. They're getting ready to raise it on up.
GG.
Yep, there it is. I bet they wish they could make a call out for the 6-man, the Green Ranger, but it's not going to be available, unfortunately, to them. Impressive performance from the favorites. Virtus.Pro, man. They looked really good. I love seeing the Nyx Assassin back in action, but Scandal, I would say he was the MVP. He had some great RPs
today. Lord Zed and Rita will be successful in their plight to shut down the Power Rangers. Channeled by the power of Virtus.Pro/Polar, and they were just pretty good all around. I feel like Go Black was the one where it was almost a 4v5. He was just kind of hanging out, doing his own thing, knocking down some towers, and they didn't really need him. Illidan 9-1-2. He was creating space for himself, getting solo kills in his lane, and then you've got the Magnus on top of that, and it was just devastation.
Yeah, and if, well, you had Illidan or Phobos in your fantasy league, you definitely won a little bit right there. Some nice set of points for them, but yeah, it was very apparent that it was going to be a rough start. I mean, their mid lane and especially their off lane on the side of PR was extremely rough. I mean, when you're only having 3 CS at like almost the 10-minute mark, you're getting nothing out of it, and you're staring across and seeing a Morphling right there is getting everything, you're like, yeah, this isn't going so good.
We got a problem, guys. Morphling's getting out of control.
Can we get over here and help me with this stuff? And Earthshaker meantime is like, I need some help. I need some help mid lane, and you can't help everyone. So
yeah, both mid and bottom were just so rough for Power Rangers. So not a bad way to get our day opened up for the Summit 2 by G2A.com, the EU division. Unfortunately, Power Rangers going 0-2 in the opening day. So not so hot for them, but it's a big group stage, so still plenty of time to recover, and maybe they can make a run for the event itself. But only one team will move on, so this is a stacked group stage for only one team to make it onward. That's it for us today, though, guys. European coverage will be every day for the next few. I'll be taking helm. Cattle Guy may be joining me for some of them, and we'll go from there. You can follow us on Twitter at SayoriTV, at Cattle Guy, and of course at Beyond the Summit to stay up to date with all things happening this tournament. But until then, see you guys tomorrow.